Hello guys, this is Mike from ICODROPS, and today I have an exclusive guest for you. His name is Zhou, and he is the CEO and founder of the one of the most anticipated projects of this spring-summer ICO season. And I'm speaking about Quarkchain. Hello Chi, how are you doing?
Hi, good. Hello, everyone.
Wonderful, nice to meet you, and welcome to ICODROPS interview. Before we start discussing Quarkchain, could you please introduce yourself to our audience and tell about your background and previous experience before Quarkchain? As far as I know, you have more than 15 years experience in IT, including such industry giants as Google and Facebook.
Mhm. Yeah, I wrote my first commercial software when I was at high school, and I started to like hotel management system company and collect my first check as a CD, Sony CD player. And then when I was in undergraduate student, I finished the second version of the software, and I continue writing varieties of the software um, during my graduate school. Like for example, one of the software that is has get like third places in Imagine Cup in China and be rewarded by Bill Gates. Um, After my graduation, I joined Facebook, DSSD, and then Google. Actually, Google, DSSD, and Facebook, and work on their infrastructure. Also high large scale distributed system and high performance systems. Um, um, Also like in terms of most of this problem is scalability.
Could
Yeah.
you tell more about that encounter with Bill Gates? Was it some kind of life-changing experience for you at that moment?
Yeah, it's when I shake hands with him, as I'm a big fan of him, and he like it's an honor. And actually, I just keep my hand like golden hands, like I'm washed for several days because like still feeling he's like shaking his hand after several days. So it's really amazing time at the moment.
Could you give more details on what you were doing in Facebook and Google?
Yeah. So at Facebook, I work at real-time infrastructure, basically all the real-time messages that is routed by the system. Since Facebook probably has the world's largest users in the world, so this is probably the world's largest real-time messages system. And actually, there's several details on my linking regarding the project, and also my when I was at Google, I work at Google Fiber for their uh, like a next generation network infrastructure and support high bandwidth users. And also in the middle, I joined a DSSD, which is a unicorn acquired by EMC, where they developed the world's probably the fastest SSD storage, where with one x86 machine that's able to deliver 5 million IOPS, which is the world record at the moment. This is my brief work background in these companies.
So actually, you have huge experience in scalability, and now you're
Yes,
going
scale,
to use it while building Quarkchain. Do I get it right?
yeah. Yeah, scalability, all kinds of sharding technologies, all kinds of like high performance systems from very low level, like cache lines, instruments like atomic operations to very high level sharding design and distributed systems and performance optimization. Yeah, various different topics from small and large related to scalability.
As far as I understand, Quarkchain is supposed to solve the classical blockchain problem when you have to choose between scalability, security, and decentralization. You
Yes.
propose quite an elegant solution based on two-layer blockchain architecture. Could you please explain to us how this two-layered architecture is going to work and why it could be the solution to scalability problem?
First layer is our sharding layer, which contains a set of the shards or blockchains and process the transactions relatively independently. So as the number of the shards increases, then the system capacity can also increases. However, with the number of the shards increases, they will create called security issues on each shard because of, for example, using proof of work, they will have dilution of the hash power. So we introduce a root chain on another layer where the root chain does not process any transactions. Its only role is to protect all the transaction in the shards. First, it will have the sufficiently hash power into the root chain so that any attack on the root chain, for example, double spending attack on the root chain, will be very expensive. A second, that it will include all the transaction results. That is the Merkle proof in the block headers into the body of the root chain. And with the root chain first consensus that is implemented in each shard, every double spending attack must also attack the root chain if the transaction is confirmed by the root chain.
So there are a number of interesting features that make Quarkchain really unique. They include market-driven collaborative mining, cross-shard transactions, simple account management, and horizontal scalability.
Yes.
Could you please give some details on these features?
Yeah, actually, a lot of these features are inspired by a lot of systems designed by Google, Facebook, and also operating system. Like, for example, when we have single account management, actually, this is a feature that enable and simplify usability that want to perform all the like smart contracts in different shards. For the cross-shard transactions, which is highly depends on this feature, and we also introduced several like operating system features to make sure that when this cross-shard transaction happens, there's no like hot shot problem in the system that a shard may receive too much cross-shard transaction, which will be overwhelmed. Also, for horizontal scalability, by using clustering, this is a very classic problem, which is inspired by Google's, like for example, Google File System, Bigtable, which have the classic their master and slave design in our system, so that we can be able to scale horizontally by adding more machines to like validate all the ledgers in the system.
The project that Quarkchain is compared most often is Zilliqa, mostly because it is another project that has already successfully implemented sharding. Can you please compare Quarkchain to Zilliqa and tell what do they have in common and what are main differences?
So Quarkchain is designed more like a general purpose blockchain, which is with at a great scale. So it supports tooling complete smart contract, similar to basically it's backward compatible to EVM. Zilliqa has a lot of contributions in terms of sharding, but I feel it's more like specialized in some scenarios because like it supports kind of new smart contract called Zilliqa, which has a lot of features, but it's not Turing complete. So this is one aspect. Another aspect is like the Quarkchain, by using clustering technologies, is aims to enable state sharding so that once the chance is high, people can split this into different machines in order to add more machines in order to support more ledger that generated by high traffic. And Zilliqa has a lot of contribution in terms of network sharding and also transactional sharding. However, the state sharding is still one of the difficult problem in Zilliqa.
As I know, Quarkchain was built from scratch with initial idea of providing high scalability. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it uses Ethereum virtual machine. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Does that mean that any decentralized application that initially was designed for Ethereum blockchain can be run on Quarkchain? And does it take any extra work from the developers to port the decentralized application to Quarkchain?
Yeah. So basically, all the smart contract that designed for the Quarkchain, designed for the virtual machine EVM, can be directly deployed on top of like a Quarkchain. And in addition, like in order to enjoy the scalability, that are offered by the Quarkchain, the smart contract itself must be also designed in the favor of the horizontal scale. This is like similar to like the infrastructure built in Facebook and Google. Like people need to understand how their data is being sharded so that they're able to maximize their performance of the underlying infrastructure. So we will also create a bunch of the process to discuss how we partition the state and how we enable this smart contract horizontal scalability so that people can be deploying multiple smart contracts, but from user perspective, it's acting like a single smart contract.
You have already launched your testnet, and the results are pretty impressive. Could you please tell more about it? How does it work in practice?
The testnet right now is running on 5 node systems, and each one runs with a Quarkchain instance with a node, which right now is single-threaded, that is supported 2,000 transactions per second. And we also have the miner that is create the traffic so that we can fulfill the system with sufficient large traffic to examine the maximum performance. Right now, the transaction on top of the testnet, I would say alpha testnet, is just like simple transfer. Our next generation of testnet, which is expected to be available at the end of this month, will support much richer feature, including complete support of smart contract and also much higher performance with early version of clustering. Where right now we are in the early testing stage of the testnet, internal testing stage of the testnet.
Do I get it right that your final goal is something about 1 million transactions per second?
Yeah, that's the when we have some extensive calculation, both in terms of CPU, storage, memory, and also network bandwidth, also the potential bottleneck from the root chain, and then we derive all these numbers. Actually, in our FAQ, we have detailed derivation of all those numbers. Actually, especially with clustering features that is enabled right now, we are testing that we are expecting by achieving these great numbers by adding more machines. So even for right now, our internal testing, it can support multiple machines, but we're still using single one, but yeah, achieve some pretty good numbers.
So you really believe that these numbers are achievable in actual life?
So because like when we design the scalability, it's designed for the future, which means that when the application requires this kind of traffic and also the corresponding infrastructure like networking, storage, and CPU, and people are accepting this kind of scalability, then I'm expecting in a foreseeable years, then this is achievable numbers, like for example 5 years or even maybe some shorter, maybe a little longer. Our mission is that to have this, everybody is able to use blockchain technologies anywhere, anytime. So when we calculate these numbers, we say, suppose everybody in the world is doing in this way, then this is probably a realistic numbers that the system should support. Right now, this time is blockchain stage is like early stage of internet, people using dial-in modem. And people know that it will be very useful, but have no idea that there will be Google, Facebook, and YouTube can be built on top of the internet until this like wide bandwidth internet is ready. So our another goal is to become an enabler so that like a lot of the applications can be built on top of us. And we imagine even some of kind of applications that we never imagined before, but is able to deploy on top of us.
Taking in consideration that you use the Ethereum virtual machine, is it right that you are going to do the Ethereum's work better than the Ethereum itself when we are speaking about decentralized applications?
We use the Ethereum virtual machine mainly for easy adoption because a lot of people are very well get familiar with the Ethereum virtual machine and its corresponding development environment like Solidity. We still actually have already been very successful in kind of applications, for example, SEO and other applications. But for us, we are more targeting for more unexplored areas in the blockchain. That all those applications require very high performance, probably with some specialized requirement. So, but Ethereum virtual machine will be our starting point, so that people can easily adopt the system. But we also like to contribute in like more virtual machine areas, like for example WebAssembly and other more, for example, safer like smart contract or virtual machine, so that like a lot of these new applications can be built on top of Quarkchain.
As far as I know, Quarkchain team consists of about 10 members and basically is based in San Francisco. Could you please tell more about the team and its members? What background and experience do they have? Was the team formed especially for the project, or do you have some experience of working together in some other projects before?
Yes. So actually, most of team members in alumni to me. Both of us like graduate from Shanghai Jiao Tong University. So especially this is a very closed society. So actually we know each other pretty well. Although we probably like we know the name of each other, know they are doing before. And once we come up with these ideas, people are discussing, just immediately say, hey, this is really awesome, and they want to join and work on it immediately. And also other team members, like for example, one is my PhD advisor. Like he has write a lot of papers have highly like citations. So she is also very when I first discussed these ideas, she's really interested in it and very excited about it. So a lot of these people, we just come with a lot of common backgrounds and experience. So that will be easier for us to come up with a team and work closely together.
So most of the team basically has some scientific background, as I understand.
Yes. I think most of team members, we have probably 80% or 70% have master degree, and probably around 50% have PhD degree. And also like for example, for me and for my PhD advisor, often have this really write tons of academia papers which is published.
You also have pretty remarkable advisory board. Could you tell more about your advisors and how are they going to be involved in the project?
Yeah, so one of the advisor is like Billmore. He was my big boss when I was at DSSD. He is the co-founder of DSSD, and he was a distinguished engineer at some system. He has tons of experience in terms of startups. He has, I think, 2 successful startups. For DSSD, it is I believe it's 1 billion. So he gave me a lot of like advices, not only technical perspective, because he's a very expert in the file system and storage, and there are a lot of similarities of this system to the blockchain. And also, he gave me a lot of advice how to do a startup, how to make set up the team, how to avoid some pitfalls in the path, and he's extremely helpful. And another Professor Chen, he's the expert in cybersecurity. He found a lot of bugs in the Linux TCP/IP stack, and he's let's say a famous attacker, and he's also an attacker for us. So when we write a code, he's like reviewing this code, and he also would like to sit with us closely to see how this code runs and any potential security concern and any improvement can be made in terms of security. Yeah, this is probably two, and also we have also advisors from crypto space, like for example Leo, he's the founder of Preangel, and Kevin, he's also the founder of the Block VC. So when we just started, they support us greatly and give us a lot of advices, how to, for example, prepare the project, design token economies, and how to prepare this roadmap. And I can't believe like without them, like we can achieve at the current stage.
Speaking about token economy, you have a private sale with a hard cap of 16 million.
Yes.
Could you tell about investors who supported the project on this early stage?
So Preangel and Block VC, I just mentioned, they are our very early investors. There we have a lot of investors internationally, like both Korean, Hong Kong, Singapore, United States, European, China, and we will disclose this all the investors just in probably shortly. But right now, some of this information are still confidential.
No matter how good technology is, it is always important to remember the business part. So, what is your business strategy in general?
Yeah, our business strategy is for example, we are collecting all the bigger D apps and analyzing what their needs and tells if they require high performance system, then invite them to join our testnet program and to see what is their needs and what's their further concerns and how can we help them. Actually, there are several the apps. They are already set up our collaboration partnership and build their applications on top of us once the testnet is ready. Another is that we are also collaborating with some traditional internet companies. They want to explore this area. They have tons of resources and experience of their products, like for example games, like computer games or mobile games, and also like security products, and also like some experience in the wallet. So they are also like interested in collaborating with us and to see how to migrate their some ideas on top of blockchain. And we have received like a lot of these supports from this, and we will also disclose their list once we have this list to be actually this early list to be ready.
Speaking about business, are you already preparing some kind of partnerships both in and out of blockchain space?
We are planning this both in and out space of like blockchain. So actually, we have like a lot of some traditional companies. They are probably top three in their areas, and they are thinking about how to build their applications onto the blockchain, and also using blockchain to interact with their like off-chain users. And I think for the blockchain, eventually it will be, I will imagine, a kind of the goal that a lot of people know they are using blockchain, but actually they are not aware of underlying blockchains doing this. They just know that blockchain is, okay, I do some transaction, okay, I do something, it is being recorded by the blockchain, and it's not immutable, and the rule is set up exactly by the smart contract. And so everybody follow the same rule. And it's like internet, like everybody is using cell phone, mobile, but nobody would care what actually LTE does and what's TCP/IP protocol is doing.
Taking consideration the speed of transaction, can we expect some new kinds of applications running on Quarkchain?
Also thinking about a lot of real life applications that can be built on top of Quarkchain. I think a lot of this real life business that has a clear rule, and then they need to have some authority to execute this rule, and it's transparent so that everybody knows the joining party for the same rule. And this rule can be easily translated to corresponding computer like smart contract. I mean, any kind of application can be built on top of that. Like for example, I would imagine one is like an auction, can be built on top of that, like lottery, like because lottery people just send to the and then generate some random numbers and then tell hey whether people have the lottery or not. And this can be also done by blockchain. And even like if you think about president election, if as long as people can map their identity on top of blockchain, then we can know that then probably using the Quarkchain we can complete this election probably just in one day. Everybody can see the result immediately.
As soon as you are going to reach more transactions per second than Visa and Alipay, can we expect a stable coin based on Quarkchain?
Yeah, I would imagine there would be some technologies like stable coin or something that is able to like limit the volatility of the price, so that it's much easier for more users to use with like less fluctuation, because there's more people won't expect spending a lot of different prices on the same thing, right? Yeah, I will imagine there'll be a lot of like kind of applications that can be built on top, like stablecoin applications built on top of blockchain.
Are you planning some incentives for developers to stimulate them to use Quarkchain?
Yeah, of course. Like we will also have the reserved tokens for the to incentivize the developers, like to Quarkchain, either by like for example, exchange the tokens with the Quarkchain or maybe or other ways. I think there's a general purpose, general questions of how to build an ecosystems on top of us, and I think a lot of good ideas, like for example, Neo, Quantum, like Ethereum, they have built very successful ecosystem, and there are a lot of ideas that we can use to help build our like society.
At the moment, obviously Ethereum is the king, and there are a number of projects trying to take its place. Do you think that situation can really change? Don't you think that the network effect Ethereum has makes it almost unattainable for its rivals?
I think Ethereum yet has a very like a good ecosystem, especially a lot of like applications that build on top of Ethereum. These applications including like ICOs or with some gaming, the CryptoKitties. So it's still very robust and secure running for these years even after several attacks. I believe like Ethereum can still be the king in these applications and areas once it is well established and proved to be a good place. For us, we are more focused on these new areas or unexplored areas that blockchain we believe should like achieve, like a lot of applications that require high throughput, high bandwidth transaction per second. they are hungry for a secure and decentralized blockchain to help address their problems, so that their applications is can be enabled on top of us. So I think there's a tons of huge market space in that area that is still not being explored. So our main focus is to open this window and also to help like a lot of the developers and applications to able to explore these areas.
I will continue this question. How do you see Quarkchain in, for example, 3-5 years in the whole blockchain ecosystem? Are you planning to become number one blockchain like Ethereum nowadays, or do you see some specific niche that you could occupy? By the way, how many blockchains do you actually think we need?
That's a great question. I think from general purpose blockchain perspective, I think probably there will be probably a few blockchains that people can tell their names, like for example Bitcoin, Ethereum. They have great value and already proved their values. In terms of high capacity blockchain, that is what the Quarkchain aims to become in this big name in this direction. And I will also imagine there will be some blockchain that is more specialized for some specific areas, um, uh, because they require some special features that must be implemented inherent into the blockchain. And so I think they will be, but it's still like I think these people can still, because the market is so huge and so large. There's so a lot of things that still explore. I think a lot of like there are a lot of collaboration space, like for example for the general purpose blockchain with the specialized blockchain in these areas, and I believe like like different kinds of blockchain can coexist pretty well in the future.
And could you please tell about your plans after the ICO? What is your roadmap? What are the main milestones?
There are several milestones. One is from technical perspective. We are going to have our testnet public probably in the end of June or early July. We currently have testnet volunteer program to help us to figure out the issues and how about to discover bugs. Originally, I want to collect 100 volunteers. Now I have received roughly 200 requests. So a lot of people are really interested in it and would like help us. I really appreciate their help and support. And after that, we also disclose our like technical white papers and also open source our code. I will also write some posts to introduce our technologies, and more from discussing why we come to this solution rather than technical white paper just describe what it is, but I will explain more why we come with these solutions, which part of the decentralized system we are inspired from, and what's the general principle and idea when centralized system design this, and how we apply this principle to us. I think there's a tons of space that I can we will like help to, because I think scalability, especially for us, we are doing horizontal scalability. That's in a very early stage, and I think there's a lot of like things that we can contribute in this this area. Not only just like technical, but also help people to understand why we do this and how to do this. And then finally, at the end of this year, we are planning to launch our mainnet. If we figure out like most issues, the community are pretty happy with our system and performance.
Speaking about the ICO itself, you have a pretty intense whitelisting procedure. Could you please tell about it, and why did you decide to choose this system for whitelisting?
So we have discussed this whitelisting extensive with our advisors, and basically there's some underlying logic is that we want to favor our early supporters, so that we design a linear decrease function to weight their contributions. And also we will try to design this score number so that so that it can be prevent people gaming this system, especially when we announce like this KYC, like this tons of like high volume to the Telegram group, and which will cause like a lot of early contributors raise their concerns of like people like probably try to gaming the system. So basically, our main goal is to create a fair and also efficient way to favor the early contributors and also favor those people who really understand our technologies, um, and have and prioritize these people to be in our whitelist. And also early supporters in different other perspectives, like for example, from how how broadcast our technologies, how how to like prepare all kinds of this. I just pretty impressed by people's like the community's innovations of all kinds of like um, um, small pictures, all kinds of this. Is very amazing.
So maybe you are ready to announce the date of the ICO.
Yeah,
I mean public sale.
yeah, we plan to be the end of this month or early next month, and we are preparing. Like the team is extremely working extremely hard to try to make this happen as soon as possible, or to want to make sure that all the like people concerns are addressed properly before the ICO.
And when will we see the first ICO on Quarkchain?
When it's still like to be determined, but we hope like we can do it as soon as possible.
So in the end of the interview, is there something you want to tell or wish to our community?
So I think I would like to thank you everyone to like especially in the community to help and support us, and we welcome any like constructive um, suggestions to help improve our community and also help improve the Quarkchain project. Yeah, um, and it's also very my great honor um, to um, uh, to create this project and also have so much support. And then I think this is still a very early stage, especially consider the wider future applications of blockchain. So I hope that this will be a very good start for not only for us but also for the whole community to become much stronger in the later.
Thanks a lot, Chi, for being with us, and let me wish good luck to Quarkchain from all the ICODROPS team. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell button, and you will never miss next video. Have a nice day and goodbye.